Yo, I
like
swear to
Richard
God,
Mille.
if you give me a Richard Mille and $500,000 in cash, I will tell everyone that I'll ever meet until the day I die that you're my best friend. People be like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Good morning for you." And have you met Patrice? No, who's that? Well, he's not here right now.
That's all it'll take.
But I love him.
A Richard Mille.
But I love him so
He'll change
much.
his middle name.
Yeah, no, I'll change my last name. Fuck that shit. Sorry, Dad. I'm an Altanay. Episode 13.
No, is it 13? It's not 14.
Capítulo 13.
No, I think it's 14.
14. 14. I don't know, man. We're doing this shit way too much. But yeah,
The Doubters.
there's that.
All right. So what's new?
Not just that. That's it. Just the doubt.
No, that's not new. That's not. We're established at this point. Maybe the data doesn't support that. But we're established. We're 14 episodes. Yo,
Don't be negative.
that's kind of
Don't
a lot.
be negative, bro.
That's kind of a
Don't
lot.
be negative. Don't be a hater.
Listen, if you go on social media these days, you see that every other person has a fucking podcast or a blog going on. So it's
Every
like
other person.
it's the sea. We're literally competing against 100,000 blogs and podcasts. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're
We're different, though.
How so?
I'm not sure. It's like a...
So what's up, Pat? Talk. Let's go. What's new?
oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Pat talk.
Go.
This is the Pat episode.
Yeah.
The fat episode.
So we
Nah.
roast you.
Huh?
We roast you after your whole LeBron hatred last week.
Nah.
It's not hatred. I'm a fan.
It was not
Even though I'm
hatred.
not a fan.
It was not
But I'm a
hatred.
fan.
I showed a lot of love to LeBron. I just didn't.
Condescending
We just
backhand.
didn't end with me saying that he's the GOAT because he's not. That's just what it is.
Super passive-aggressive compliments.
Listen,
He's really good compared to other people.
he's really good. He's just not better than Michael Jordan. That's all. Oh, that's speaking of which, I heard Michael Jordan's trying to cash out. He's trying to sell his majority interest of the Hornets, and he talk about cashing out. He bought it. He bought it for $180, and it's worth 1.8 B.
Wait,
Yeah.
180 is what he paid?
180 million for the majority ownership, and it's worth 1.8 B. And he could probably ask for more than that
1.8 billion
How could it
for
be worth
Charlotte.
that much?
because
Charlotte.
No, I think it's just because it's him.
I don't think the
because
city of
the
Charlotte
NBA.
is worth $1.8 billion.
Because of the NBA.
Get the fuck out
The
of
revenue
here.
is wild. If you own a
It is,
team,
I know.
literally, it doesn't matter the team. The Houston Rockets are the worst team in the NBA. They got a bunch of 12-year-olds that shoot 35% from the floor.
I can't talk shit. I gave the Charlotte Hornets money one time. The old school Zoe purple jersey.
That shit was hard. They should go back to those jerseys,
Super
I
tough.
think.
I got like a 5th grade picture somewhere in my mom's house.
Never been really a Jersey person.
Come on.
I would have thought you'd be a jersey person.
Get out of here, yo.
Because you're into
I
sneakers.
just don't like
and
the way that they
hats.
fit and feel.
Well, the fit does matter, though. That's facts.
The best part about that jersey was I wore it to school for the picture. And then my dog Frank, he saw me and was like, "That's just hard." And then I took my picture, and then immediately after, he ripped off his school shirt. He's like, "Give me the jersey." And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Give me the jersey." He took a jersey in my picture. So we had the same exact fucking... In the yearbook, both of us are wearing the Zoe jersey.
So he pressured you into taking the jersey?
I felt bad, bro. He was like, "Give me the jersey." I was like, "All right, go." And then literally in the yearbook, it's like a couple heads down. We're wearing the same exact shirt.
You see the type of shit we used to let fly? Yo, take your shirt off now because I like it.
I mean,
and
it
I want to
wasn't-
wear it in
it
this
wasn't-
photo.
And then I gave him my...
Yo, JP, run your joggers now.
I had to give him my biscuit too.
This guy.
Fuck out of here. It wasn't like that at all. It was more like, "Yo, that shit's hard." I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "You think I could hold it?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, if you want, you can hold it." He's like, "Not like right now." And I was like, "Okay, fine."
Have you ever I don't know how you guys are or were with as a kids, like in like Haitian households, like one of the worst things you could do is like borrow clothes or like wear someone else's shit.
Oh yeah, no, you're a piece
Like
of shit.
you can't put on someone's shoes if it's not like your family member. Like I can never come home and be wearing your sneakers. It's like
I couldn't come home with anybody else's anything.
anything.
First of all,
But you
did you
can
steal
now.
it?
No, I mean now
Now you're 40 years old. Your mom doesn't give a fuck.
I have a lot of shit that I don't even use.
But yeah, no, I don't think that's Haitian. I think it's from maybe the Caribbean. But my parents, exact same way. Did you steal that shit? I'm like, no. Well, then why do you have it? And I'm like, no. Then how did you get the money to buy it? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He took mine. I took his. We're going to trade back tomorrow. What if he doesn't trade back? Am I supposed to fight his parents? I'm like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, they would think very far.
Yeah,
they would think very
30
far.
different scenarios. And then it's like, yo, hey, I swear to God, I'm giving you your shit back tomorrow. Give me mine, please.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like that.
I don't think I ever went through anything like that.
Because you're not from the Caribbean.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, Peruvians don't really care.
No, you guys, you've been around for thousands of years. You guys are over shit like that.
I feel
you
like
guys are way past that.
I feel like we're coming up to a racist show.
but I never switched.
they got better food,
I
too?
never switched shit with anyone because it was my shit, and like I take care of it. I never did like.
You never had a moment where your boy was like, "Damn, that shit's fresh," and you're like, "Yeah, that shit's fresh."
When we rocked
all right,
that.
let me hold that jacket. All right, cool. And then you take off your sweater. You never did that.
JP, of course I did.
Well, maybe I didn't because I grew up with Chris,
And then you took it home unintentionally because you forgot, but then you didn't see your boy towards the end of the day, and you're like,
and
"I'm holding."
and now it's mine.
Well, no, my closest friend was
So
Chris.
you got home, and then it's like, I didn't pay for that shit. Where the fuck did you get? Ah, yeah, bro,
Well,
that's
here's
1,000%.
Here's the funny thing: I probably never went through that because Chris was Haitian. So
Yeah.
I never
Your
wore.
boy was
I never-
Haitian,
I
so
never-
your boy wasn't
Yeah, I never-
switching anything.
so by extension, you were rocking like a Haitian.
There you go.
Hey, I got it.
Or
I got
Cuban.
it.
So that's
makes
why I
sense.
never
Racist.
went through that scenario. Maybe he didn't want to let me borrow it because it just wasn't something that he was supposed to do.
Never.
I know you guys are slightly younger than I am, but on March 9th, 1997, the GOAT of rap died in tragic fashion. What do you guys remember about that? Do you guys remember like when Big died?
I was in middle school.
Does that mean you don't remember?
No, I'm trying to remember. I remember being in the hallways when that whole thing happened, but I don't really.
It was
In my mind, I don't.
it was
think I
98,
processed
right?
it.
1997.
97, because I was, and
I was in 9th grade.
I was in 7th.
No, it couldn't have been. I was in.
No. 97? No way. March of 97, I was in 7th grade.
I got no.
Because I graduated class of 98 for my 8th grade. So, no. There's no way.
So you are you a year older?
Were you
Or
born in
you're
84?
younger?
I'm a year down from him. I was
Yeah,
in
no.
six.
So
Yeah, you were in 6th grade. For sure.
Did you listen to rap when you were 6th grade?
Yeah.
No, you had no idea who Biggie was. Shut up.
DMX. Me and Chris were. I told you already. Me and Chris were
up.
bootlegging the Columbia House.
Do you remember when you found out?
Yes, but remember, at that time, like I was more in my goonish phase for no reason because I grew up in a very privileged household with both of my parents, but I was just more of a Pac guy than a Biggie guy because most of Miami, like, I don't know, we were more of that West Coast, fuck you, thug life attitude more than Biggie. And there was always an anti-New York sentiment in Miami at the time. Anti-Knicks.
Except half of the people here are from New York. But
Now-
I think
guess.
everyone liked to just put
Now.
the W.
No, it wasn't
the
just
thing.
that.
Everyone would
Well,
walk
yes,
out.
the W was super tough, but no, it wasn't just throwing that up. It was we were very anti Knicks. We were very anti Jets, anti Bills.
When you were in 7th grade, bitch.
I'm talking about the city of Miami, not me.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yo.
I'm talking about the entire city
I
of
thought you
Miami.
were talking about
It's
your-
not
I thought
just
you-
about me,
I thought you were
Jake.
trying to-
Sergio's like I'm taking liberty to speak on behalf of the entire.
Yeah, I was
like, yo,
Miami
in
Dade.
I
7th
represent all of unincorporated Dade
I was like,
County.
yo, in 7th grade, you were anti-New York? I'm like, that's what I said.
I was.
As a kid, you thought
I
it was
absolutely
cool to put
was.
a W.
I was a diehard Dolphins fan. So
with your
fuck the
Nautica
Bills.
jacket.
Literally, fuck the Bills, fuck the Jets. Wearing shit that said fuck the Bills and then getting in trouble for it. But absolutely. And at the time,
for the record, New Yorkers don't consider Buffalo New York. It's almost Pennsylvania.
I know, but to Miami,
And a lot of them wouldn't consider you New
to
York
Miami,
also.
Buffalo is across the street from the Empire State Building. Because in Miami, no one knows we're Cuban.
True.
Get the fuck out of here. We're not looking at maps.
True.
And especially not in 1990 or 95. Anyways. So yeah, I don't know. I speak for, I think, a lot of the people my age at the time, maybe not like me now. I've had this conversation with you before. Mm-hmm. I grew up on Tupac. Biggie's my favorite rapper of all time. By far. It's not even close. But I grew up on Tupac. So as a kid, bro, I swear to God, like you're asking me if I remember Biggie. I remember when I heard Biggie died. But when I heard Tupac died, I'll never forget. I was in the shower. I was listening to Power 96 on my boombox. And they said Tupac. And I started crying in the shower like a little fucking kid. And I was in 7th grade or 6th grade.
So it hit you different.
Yeah. So I was literally crying in the shower. A little fucking white kid in Kendall.
It's kind of serious.
Listening to Tupac. We just had to report Tupac Shakur has died. And this was like after they had been making jokes on the radio. Like, oh, one lung Shakur. Like all kinds of stuff. Then it was like all serious.
You thought he was gonna survive.
Yeah, you thought he was gonna survive because he had already been shot 8,600 times, and he would always bounce back, flick off the camera, spit at somebody, and fuck you. You can't shit. I took that and smiled. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. So, I mean, yeah, it was different when Biggie died. It was like, it wasn't even more about Biggie. It was like, hip hop is real. Oh my God, like. You got to be careful. Like, even if we're freestyling, somebody could kill you. Like, hip hop is like rap is real. That's the way I took it when Biggie died. Because Tupac, all right, he had been shot a bunch of times, but Biggie, that was different.
But so I don't know why some people don't consider like the circumstances or the background of a lot of these artists. Like, rappers are way out of the hood. Like, you either slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. You either play ball, you sold drugs, or you rapped, right? In a lot of the hoods in the 80s and the 90s, right? So even if it wasn't like that, that was the mentality. Right. And while a lot of people are not talking about, weren't necessarily living what they were talking, not everybody's a felon, not everybody's a killer. But at the same time, in those periods, those people behind, a lot of the violence in hip hop, the J Prince and the Suge Knight, those guys are like well known. Those guys it's not like a joke. Like they're really threatening people's lives and shit like that.
Kill people.
So I think that actually it's unfortunate because while they were in the midst of that, I think Big kind of thought he was invincible. He didn't think that he could get got. And like he was in California, but 6 months after Tupac got killed. At the same
time, in his defense, though, he really wasn't talking shit.
He wasn't.
It was Tupac was doing all the talking. Because Who Shot Ya, he swore to God up and down that Who Shot Ya was not about Tupac.
Of course, it's about Tupac.
I get it.
Of course,
I get it. Tupac. But if you were about that, you'd say it was about fucking Tupac. And Biggie's like, nah, man, I wrote that before.
He didn't say that because he died. It's out of respect. You know what I mean?
I get it, but.
You're gonna spit on the guy after he's already dead? No, like I respect that part. But the fact that he was where everybody was hating him, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna party here and we're just gonna rock out. Like you could skip the LA radio tour. I think you could, for your life, But it sucks because
I know, but going back to Cali was a hit.
It sucks because that's like one of the biggest what ifs ever because.
They were kids.
As good as his music was and all the hits he put out, and he was only 24 years old. He missed the Neptune's era. He missed the Just Blaze era. He missed the Kanye era. He missed
the prime, like the whole like I don't know want to be corny, but like literally like a rebirth / hip hop on mainstream.
Imagine if we got 10 Biggie albums with all of those producers.
No, and
it changes music. It
Timbaland.
Yeah. It changes music, so
like
what a shame, man. Yeah. But it's crazy because even though I know we don't go out like that anymore, today, if you go to any party, any lounge where they're playing open format or hip hop, like you can't skip the Bad Boy era. They're going to play More Money, More Problems. They're going to play Juicy. They're going to play Hypnotize. And this is what, 25, 20, 26 years later?
No, and they'll always like, again, bro, my kids will literally use their little samples, and not because they're mine. It's just relevant. Like it's part of the culture. Like
It's a part of the culture.
it's staples. Like their music is, and it's like all good music. Like good music's timeless, so it doesn't go out of style. It like, I'm sorry, like it is what it is.
I agree. So while we're talking about the culture part, just like that urban culture and the culture that I guess that people think that hip hop that hip hop influences. I can only speak for myself, and Das she tells me that I'm rare that way. I've listened to hip hop since I could listen to the radio, and funny enough, I like a lot of violent and ignorant hip hop, but really it's almost never affected my decisions. Maybe my slang, maybe the way I dress, but I've never wanted to flip birds because I listen to rap about flipping birds. I never wanted to shoot people because of that. So when you see these story about like Ja Morant, who's a NBA superstar, who's 23 years old, who grew up in a 2-parent household in the suburbs of South Carolina, who worked very hard as a underrated recruit to become an NBA star, who has a signature Nike sneaker, who has a $225 million contract,
Has his own franchise,
and he's the face of a team, and he's in the strip club with a gun, with a grill, and all this stuff, and he's hanging out with these Memphis rappers and things like that are known for being in the streets. They're like street rappers. And what do you guys think about that? About these guys, these people that come from, what you would want, like stability, like you didn't grow up in the hood. Your parents didn't have to do anything illegal for you to, to have, even if they worked hard, and then you make it, but the only way that you feel like you're co-signed is if you're co-signed by like the hood. Like that's something that's prevalent in Miami and Dade County. We see that every day. Like these little Kendall kids that want to be hard, and kids that never seen the hood, never seen a crack rock, and they want to be hard. But why do you think that is? It's a weird phenomenon to me. This is not new. This has been going on forever, but it's weird for me.
I think I agree to an extent, for sure. I think it comes down to, at least in Miami, from my experience, like I'm from Kendall, born and raised, and Kendall is a very weird suburb in Miami because for the most part, it's, I would say, upper middle class to middle class.
Right. I would agree with that.
For the most part, especially with the rest of the country, not just Miami, but with the rest of the country, I would say it's a middle class to upper middle class.
Agreed.
It does have some pockets of lower income areas.
Correct.
But there's no like huge concentration of low income areas. You just might have some lower income,
couple streets, couple
with
complexes,
low middle classes that have So some apartments in that apartment complex might be 1 bedroom or studios, whatever, and you just get a couple people, whatever. My point is, and I use my high school that I went to as an example. I'm not gonna name it, but whatever. The K. The K is
a blend.
It's
the K is a
in
blend.
a beautiful neighborhood, one of the nicest neighborhoods outside of Pinecrest or Coral Gables. I'd probably say one of the nicest neighborhoods in all of unincorporated Dade County. Mm-hmm. Like Galloway Estates, that area of 87th to 97th Avenue. Love that area. From about, I would say, like 96th Street down to like 120th. Crazy houses. Beautiful houses. Awesome lots. Whatever. You got the K right smack in the middle of that neighborhood. None of the kids that live there go to that school. Because all the kids that live there either go to Gulliver or they literally drive to Palmetto, but they're not going to Killeen.
Or they go to St. Brendan.
Or they go to St. Brendan, or they go
Columbus.
to Lourdes or Belen or Columbus, or any of the other, private schools in Miami. But you would get kids from all around Kendall, West Kendall. You would get a lot of kids from like the Richmond Heights,
down south area.
And then you would get some kids from like, I don't know, like, yeah, even it's all mostly Kendall kids and some down south areas. But a lot of the issues came from the Kendall kids, not from the down south areas. Like, don't get me wrong, were there troublemakers from everywhere? Yeah. But sometimes it almost felt like the kids from Kendall, from decent houses and, you know, 2-parent homes were acting out even harder.
Well, so
like,
why do you
why?
think that is? Why do you think that is? Like that's I mean, I could only only guess.
I think it's a
but-
combination of two things. One, they want attention. And then two, they're fanatics of the culture to an extent where they're literally dying to be part of it. Like, I think that's part of it.
So the weirdest thing for me is like you guys know I went to a private school, and I noticed that the kids that have everything, they do the dumbest shit because it's like they're bored. You know,
Do you think it's invincibility? Like money?
Yes.
Like he's got the money, the power. He feels
so-
like he's almost
so we'll-
untouchable.
we'll circle back to
Kanye,
Ja. We'll
Like
cir-
Kanye and his famous comments that he said, and then the next day canned.
JP, we'll circle back to Ja, because Ja is like a these examples we're talking about on steroids, because we're talking about it's a 5-year contract for $230 million. The guy's 23 years old. Like, how much money were you making when you were 23?
Nothing, and I had 2 kids.
Like,
Nothing. I was working. That was my first year at Tiger Direct, and I had 2 kids. I probably made like 45 bands that year.
when I was
40 bands.
When I was 23, I worked at
Kill yourself.
at a park in Pinecrest where I was blowing fucking leaves and making like $11 an hour. Dead ass.
That was part time. I was in college and part time.
Nah, when I was that age, I was
Like $600.
I was also blowing leaves.
Pause. Oh yes, got
That was
you.
a joke.
With you.
Sorry, I was trying to time it with the smoke.
So we'll get back to Ja, but
a
like
vape.
with these kids that I went to high school with, the kids that had everything, the kids that got the car that they wanted and got the sneakers that they wanted, and they had no privacy issues. Like, they could have people at their house, they could come and go as they please.
Like, they had their own wing of the house
they had their own wing or the pool house
with their own parking.
You know what those kids were doing when they were bored? They were smoking crack.
I was gonna say they were freebasing.
smoking. They were smoking crack. They were
Freebasing.
breaking into cars. They were like punching girls, like dumb shit, like dumb shit. Like, really, it's like because they have nothing better to do,
Yeah.
right? But when I don't understand why. Like, I agree with what you're saying as far as them acting out and like just begging for attention, but when you have a John Morant, where it's literally you work this hard to...
Yeah. All right. So, because we're gonna go on to John Morant, I think that also. So, all right, and follow me, because since I would say, like, Iverson, basketball and hip hop have a relationship
Absolutely.
to where rappers
Want to be
wish
ballers.
they were athletes,
And ballers want to be rappers.
and the athletes all wish they were rappers.
100%.
Like, Drake isn't the first one. Like, he's just the biggest one who's obsessed with basketball.
And he said it. He said that exact lyric in a song.
Yeah.
That rappers want to be rappers want to be ballers, ballers want to be
And it's the
rappers.
truth. And it's the truth, because you see it. Like, bro, Harden gifted Travis like some crazy watch.
Cash, Richard
And
Mille.
then he's like half a
It's
mil.
weird. It's
He's
weird.
like, here's a
That's
half
weird.
a million cash.
That shit is weird.
And the whole purpose is so that they can go 2 or 3 times to a club and turn that all into singles and then just donate all of that.
Listen,
That's what they're gonna do. It's not like they need the money.
I like you guys a lot, but I don't know if we're all rich. I don't know if I'd be giving you guys.
Yo,
like
I swear to
Richard
God,
Mille
if you give me a Richard Mille and $500,000 in cash, I will tell everyone that I'll ever meet until the day I die that you're my best friend. People be like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Good morning for you." And have you met Patrice? No, who's that? Well, he's not here right now.
That's all it'll take.
But I love him.
A Richard Mille.
But I love him so
He'll change
much.
his middle name.
Yeah, no, I'll change my last name. Fuck that shit. Sorry, Dad. I'm an Altanay.
I love it. So I think that's that was
Altine?
weird for me. No, that's actually the right way to say it.
I know.
Good job. Is that it's the fascination kind of with that culture.
Breaking props.
Like, I love action movies and violent songs and shit like that, but there was never a point in my life that I wish I was on the block slinging rocks or running away from the plug that's trying to kill me and steal my shit and I'm shooting back at him or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
but I've been at Publix with earbuds in and I'm just staring at baking soda listening to Jeezy for like a good 40 minutes. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And like literally Thug Motivation 101 is just blasting in my ear.
I think this is a weird kind of like bizarro shit that happens where like people kind of make fun of that. Like people are still in 2023 making fun of people that have 2-parent households, that are intelligent, that are responsible, and I'm just like,
Because
why?
Clarence parents
Why?
have a good marriage. God bless them.
God bless them. But but you're wilding if you're Clarence and you're
trying to be Papa Doc.
right. Like
Right. Why are you trying to be Papa Doc? Why are you trying to lead the free world
listen,
when you went to private school?
so let's say it like this. Obviously,
We just did a whole segment on the 8 Mile.
obviously I'm old and I'm responsible. I've seen a lot of shit. But
Yeah, but in retrospect, seriously, Eminem changed his life. Not his, like Papa Doc's. Papa Doc became the guy from the Avengers.
he became Falcon. He went to the
became
military
Falcon.
and
Exactly.
he became Falcon.
He changed his whole life around. And look at him. He's like literally replacing Captain America.
So if you
God
knew,
bless Papa Doc.
So real shit. If you knew that I grew up with both my parents, I went to college.
That doesn't make you less of a man.
Okay, no, hold on. I went to college. I went to a private high school. I've never been in trouble. But wouldn't you be like, Pat is bugging if all of a sudden every time we played basketball I was punching people in the face and like brandishing firearms? You'd be like, but why, Pat? You went all these years
like by default
safe
in Miami,
and good.
like that's a whole bunch of red flags in Miami. Like for one, you're doing steroids, right? So that could mean one of two things. One, maybe you're becoming a cop. Or two,
This is a clip. This is a clip.
two. But it's a Miami thing. Our cops juice.
This is a clip.
Our cops juice. Your cops are just racist, but our cops are fucking raw and racist. Like, you never been pulled over by a Miami-Dade cop where it's like license or registration. Yeah, don't fucking move. You asked me for... Bruh, there's a setup.
Hey, there's a slow tear rolling out of my right eye because this is all facts, but I'm also traumatized because I've had guns. I've had cop guns in my face many times.
Many times.
and I'm Clarence whose parents had a real good marriage, and I've had guns in my face.
So many 8 Mile references. So many. This is the name of this podcast is the 8 Mile. For sure, we have to.
I went to Gulliver. That's a private school.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, no, that's
The entire song is just Pat.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I think what
That's
it could.
awesome.
I think it plays into the invincibility thing, but I think now that he has the money, he's accepted into those circles where before he had the money and anyone knew who he was. No,
He didn't have to have money for the rappers to hang out with him. He's still an NBA superstar.
Yeah, bro.
He's what I'm saying. Before that is what I'm trying to get at. Before he was a superstar, you weren't allowed. He probably wasn't in those circles. Where now that he's a superstar, they want to hang out with him because they want to hang out with the famous person too. Dude. So I think it's like a mix of the two. It's like you're now accepted into circles that you didn't have access to.
So,
but that happens even with anyone.
I'm just saying though, like, nah. Because if you grew up in that shit, you're not posting yourself with a gun.
But
you're not about that.
He's accepted into
You're
groups now
faking it.
where those people have that. Is what I'm getting at.
You're faking it. Like the guys that he was with weren't posting shit like that.
No, he posted it himself on his own Instagram.
That's my point. And those guys that have reputations and have been known to pull out guns on people were throwing cash. While John Morant.
Circle back 4, 5, 6 episodes ago. Had Pat known one of the BMF dudes, you would have been in that circle too.
Nah, but that's different.
All it takes some sort of entrance into that environment. Circle. And I think that for him it was, you're famous. Hey, you can now hang out with us.
But let me ask you something. So, like, there still should be okay, so now you're in that circle, so you hang out with rich guys and you're also rich and you're also famous. But would you do like pointless illegal shit but
you do you do similar things to the people that are.
If you're hanging out with BMF guys, are you gonna push bricks now because you're hanging out with BMF?
You might.
Are you gonna start pouring acid on your enemy?
But if you already have money, if I'm Pat that was 22 years old and BMF wants to hang out with me, maybe I would have pushed birds. But
this kid's 23.
But he already has $100 million. Like, he doesn't need to do it.
His friends now do this. He wants to, like you said, they want to be like each other.
Man.
I think it's dumb as hell, dude.
I don't think it's smart. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of an ideal scenario.
I don't think anyone agrees. I don't think anybody agrees with it or supports it. I don't think anyone's on that team.
You know, there's some people. I did a poll. There were some people that said the NBA is overreacting. And the media is overreacting, and I'm like, dude, the guy is one of the one of the 10 faces of the NBA, and he's a kid. He has the chance to make literally $700-800 million in just NBA salary.
No ceiling,
right? So even if you go to the strip club, knock yourself out, yo. And you got no money to do it.
No one's against the
who tells you to go IG live like this with a gun? It's like, it makes no sense. It's
beyond the smallest of guns.
Like a 22 caliber.
Like, I don't even know what that was. Maybe like a single stack 22. It looked like a 5.5 shooter.
I think that you just, when you get wrapped into the environment, you become
wrapped. I see what you did there. Play on words.
Oh, bars. You get wrapped into the environment.
Triple entendre, don't even ask me.
But okay, so taking that down to kind of like going back to local people that don't come from poverty, don't come from hardship, but they want to identify with it so bad. Why do you think that is? I never kind of understood that. I've never been able to put that together.
Fanaticism. The same reason why, you know, crazy white kids get emo and shoot up schools or dress like Marilyn Manson. The same reason. I
think it's like that saying. It's like you're like the 5 closest people around.
It's either art imitating life or life imitating art. That's a bar. I don't know. I read that in a.
No, but I mean, that's true.
Instagram post that some girl probably posted.
But do you think that your average person would risk their freedom to show how down they are?
No, but just because he's an amazing, gifted athlete doesn't mean he's smart.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like, I could give you a list of 27 athletes with all the talent in the world that never did anything. Anything.
Top 270. Not
top
27.
3? Jamarcus Russell.
Jesus.
Jamarcus Russell's
top he's 3 on up there. He's up there.
No? Josh Gordon?
He's up there.
Josh Gordon?
At least he had an all-pro season.
Yeah, 1 season, bro.
But
the only guy in the history of the world to choose a couple blunts over guaranteed millions of dollars.
But see, this is a thing that, like,
hey, as long as you don't smoke when we tell you not to smoke, we'll pay you.
Yeah,
and he's like,
we'll pay you $3 million if you don't smoke for 4 months.
Those are those conversations we've had where it's like, yo, you've got millions. Pump the brakes. We've spoken about this tons of times. Every time one of these people do that, these athletes, they smoke weed, they get caught beating some chick up, they get something like that. It's like, yo, what are you doing?
Those are people that are pieces of shit that got money. That's it. There's shitty people everywhere. You meet shitty people every single day.
I mean, and there's shitty people,
But not
in private
all of them.
schools, too.
But there's some shitty people that happen to be super mega talented.
You know what's funny that I tell
Michael Jordan. No, I'm just kidding.
I tell this
That was for Pat.
I tell this to my I've told this to my mom before and my dad before, because like, you know, some things just happen in life that that change like the trajectory of your life. When we were all born in Queens, like my family, we were all born in Queens. We were in Queens in the crack epidemic, right? When my parents were looking for a house, there happened to be a house in Long Island 12 miles away, right? They just went to check it and it happened to be a good deal. If we didn't get the house in Long Island, we would have been kids running around in crack epidemic Queens. So when some guy says, hey, could you bring that over to that house and we'll give you $200?
Yeah,
we all would have done it.
You take $200.
We all would have done it. And that probably would have changed our whole lives.
100%.
You know? It would have changed our whole lives. You didn't even have to be a mean-spirited kid. You wanted to have enough money to just buy your sneakers and buy your cookies and shit, right?
But that's literally how people fall into the trap.
For sure.
Every single day.
100%.
I don't see how that's any different than what he has now. It's just a different scenario. The circle is bigger. The money's there. There's unlimited resources.
Yeah. But
He's just hanging out with the wrong people. I mean,
yeah.
And how are you going to tell a 23-year-old kid, like, you got to cut your friends off because you're making too much money and they're risky? It's tough.
Shit. I bet you John Morant's dad took care of that the second this broke out.
I hope so, but his dad is part of the entourage. His dad is like one of his homies.
Yeah.
I don't think his dad has that. His dad kind of. I think he might have lost that.
I think his dad just acts
line.
cool on ESPN.
You think he's like,
I don't think
putting him against the wall, saying, "Don't fuck
I don't know,
this
but
up
he's
for
still
us."
married to the same chick.
yeah, don't fuck this up for us.
He's still married to the same chick he's been with for his whole life. He's not Mr. Player where he dresses and he acts all cool with his like
looking like Usher
with his sweaters and shit. Like, he's just trying to look like a cool old man, but he's not that cool. He might look cool.
Wait, was he the one that tried to fight
Shannon?
Yeah.
I think Shannon would kill all those guys.
I think he would.
I think
I
he'd
don't
kill
think anything. I don't think anything. Shannon Sharp could eat that whole family.
And the
like
team.
a sandwich.
Like, I don't think anybody has
With
anything
his
for
dry
him
ass mouth.
except Steven Adams.
With his dry ass mouth, he could fucking eat that whole entire Morant family. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Those people are nowhere near. Shannon Sharp is a monster.
Yeah, he is a monster. And he's right. He says a lot of correct shit. He does country. But I love Shannon Sharp.
Country
He's
as
awesome.
fuck. He's awesome. His brother was awesome too.
Yeah. I think that's like just the craziest thing, that in the height of your career, you're a 2 seed, and you have a lot of game to play. You guys know that he bought the first house he bought when he got drafted. After he got this crazy contract, he bought the house next door, and that's what he lives in. And then the first house, his parents live in it.
Yeah.
So literally, it's like two
next
mansions next door to each other on like
But that's
3
what I'm
acres of
saying.
land, and it's like
That's what I'm saying. He's
your
not even
parents' crib,
about
your
that
crib.
life. Like,
Not.
like you could say, oh, he's chilling with those people. Doesn't no, he went out with those people that night, but he lives next door to his parents.
And he should never ever need to carry a gun ever. When you have that kind of money,
You have to have a
you
friend.
hire an ex-military security guard, like an ex-military security guard who
Some little Israeli guy.
who doesn't want to party, and dead ass though, like
Straight the fuck up.
a guy from Eastern Europe, or
I'll
the
take
Middle
a little
East,
Israeli.
or the Middle East.
Take a
No,
little
not a
Israeli.
little, like a guy that's like Luka
Nah.
Doncic, but military trained, and that guy just comes with you. He doesn't want. You don't need him to be your friend. Guess like Luca, dead ass, and
He looks like a white
and you
Yoshi.
pay him, and you
Weird
pay
ass.
him $500,000 a year. He's always strapped, and he's a black belt or whatever. You don't need any goons that shoot sideways like they're watching.
That guy's
They're watching. Don't Be a Menace.
This guy's trying to punch out kidneys, like
Yeah.
literally trying to like puncture.
Somebody
kidneys.
rolls up on you and he's snapping necks, taking
Yeah,
shoulders out of the
exactly.
socket, like that type
Steven
of shit.
Seagal ripping throats out.
Yeah, like-
and it's like
That's
yo,
well worth. That's well worth the $350 or $400
yeah.
you're gonna pay the guy. Like, I'll do that in a second. Like I would not
Yeah.
want any of my friends carrying guns if we're hanging out
or whatever
None.
you pay those
Zero.
people from Kosovo from. Anyways, but yeah, some Slavic motherfucker.
He's like, whatever you pay the people from Kosovo.
Yo, I don't know. I got some good friends that are Turkish Polacks, and those guys are enormous. You know, no?
Who?
Don't hate.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they went to Coral Reef. But yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I had a friend in college that was
enormous.
Turkish.
One is like 6'5",
Yeah.
and the other one's like 6'6". They're
Just
Enormous.
wide body.
Yeah,
Are they
and
are they 280 with it?
yeah, they look like they were corn fed their whole lives.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, a buddy of mine in college the same. It's like 6'8". Not 6'8".
Yeah, like little two fucking buildings.
Yeah, about 6'8". Something around there. He would have to he would come close to
And they'd have to duck down.
close to ducking. And
They
he
both
was
even have
huge,
super deep voice because when you get to that size, like it has to match.
Like I remember that you would walk into class and the teacher would say some slick comment. He would walk into class. He would just keep teaching. Keep teaching. This guy was like juiced up,
You don't want to fucking lose.
and he barely had
Half your jaw?
I don't think he had to duck, but it was pretty close to ducking his head getting through a door.
That's for dramatic effect. That's dope though.
So you saw that he got suspended. So what do you guys think
8
about
games?
that? You think that was light? You think that was appropriate?
I think the weird part is they suspended him. Isn't they suspend him because he violated the policy of bringing the gun on the place?
Into a strip club?
No.
That's a policy. That's an NBA policy.
No,
You can't. You can't have an NBA. You can't have a gun with you on any NBA
traveling.
travels.
Yeah.
So they said that there's only he could have only had it with him.
That's
They
what he
don't
got-
check
that's
your
what he got
bag
in
Because he
trouble
wasn't in
for.
Memphis,
No, it was in Denver.
That's what he got in trouble for.
so he took a gun to Denver
Yes, in his bag
on a plane.
on a PJ. They don't check your shit. It's private.
That's what he got in trouble for.
He's
Not
fucking
this.
stupid.
Yeah, but you guys don't even realize that if that took place in New York, a place that has like crazy gun
Oh, no,
laws,
he's getting arrested.
He's facing felonies. Like he's done for the year. He's facing felonies. Plaxico Burr spent 2 years in jail for shooting himself.
I was just gonna say that's the worst sports.
He shot
arrest
himself.
in the history of sports. You know that story?
Yeah.
Like
I
New
just
York
don't-
doesn't play with guns. Like you can't.
And he was a Super Bowl hero.
Yeah.
Still went to jail
And he spent 2 years in the Bing because he shot himself
for shooting
Because-
himself. Imagine going to jail for shooting yourself. But imagine that you're the biggest motherfucker in there, so nobody's gonna tell you shit
You're
anyways.
6'7".
Because you're brolic as fuck, and your hands are the size of anybody's fucking
Face.
leg.
with a hole in your thigh.
Yeah, no, with a limp. Fuck out of here.
That becomes the longest yard instantly.
Shout out to Plax. Jesus Christ. Get it? Shout out. Sorry. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yo, speaking of comedy, I think you told me that Chris Rock responded to Will Smith.
Nah,
What'd you think?
got him.
I think, yeah.
Got him.
And the mic drop at the end, I thought I was like, all right, I got parents.
I think the way
was
he
like,
started it with when he goes, Will Smith was casted to play Muhammad Ali. I was casted to play Pookie. Yo, that's perfect, but it's true.
It was all perfect. It was all perfect.
Yeah,
And it
he
was-
had
it
a
was-
year.
Yeah,
He had a year to just.
that's why he didn't say.
He really hasn't said anything for
He
an
made
entire-
no
Here-
comments for a whole year
For a whole
because he
year.
was loading that clip.
No, and perfecting it. He perfected that shit. It
But,
was perfect. Timing,
It was perfect.
everything. Awesome. He killed it.
Like, what do you guys think of like what's gonna happen in Will Smith's career at this point? Is he just a herb forever, or can he come back and be a star?
I mean, I don't know how he was going to come back from the whole round table thing and the wife saying that she's
I think he's done.
hooking up with someone else.
Yeah, he looks wild.
I
He
love
looks
him.
wild in these streets.
I loved him, but I think he's done. I think there's lines you don't cross, bro. Look, Matt Lauer,
Yeah,
gone.
bingo.
Erased.
Like he never existed.
Like if Arnold showed up, Vanessa Williams, gone. Remember her?
The Eraser. That's a good.
What happened to her?
That's a good shitty movie.
I don't know. I don't necessarily.
You
think it's
don't
gone, 'cause
remember?
People forget.
You don't remember Eraser?
People
Did you see
forget it,
Eraser?
people don't care.
Did you see Eraser?
Yes.
No, you didn't. You have
It's a
no idea.
good
Eraser
shit.
I
It's a
have,
good
yes.
shitty
You better
movie.
have.
It's really bad, but it's really good at the same time.
I think people just forget, and they just at a certain point, not that they forget, but they just. If he comes out with another, like if Independence Day something, and he's there, I mean, they'll.
Did
It would just
anybody
have
watch
to
the
be-
Slave movie?
Huh?
Did anyone watch
No.
the Slave movie?
That-
Nobody.
No. I don't even think people watched the Gemini Man movie where he was fighting himself.
I watched that one.
Was it
I didn't
good?
watch that
Was
shit.
it trash?
Wasn't his best, but it was a good laundry movie.
It wasn't Wild Wild West.
Good launching movie.
Yeah, like it wasn't like the best movie ever, but it was
Fuck is
like
a laundry movie. Like you
yeah,
watch it while
want-
you're doing
put the-
laundry.
Yeah, you do the laundry. I put it on and waste time. Like it
That's
wasn't
like
bad.
the super depressing version of Netflix and chill.
No, because you're actually but you're still
You
paying
want Netflix
attention.
and chill? No, you want to. I'm fucking watching this and doing laundry.
Would put the warm t-shirts up while I'm watching a Will Smith movie.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
I don't think that's a good criticism of a show if you say it's laundry.
It wasn't good. I'm saying it wasn't good, but at the same time, it wasn't bad. Like I've seen some shit that you're just like off.
JP, I agree with you. I think that probably his best course of action is to kind of like lay low for a year or two.
And then get like a supporting role.
And then you got to come back with a banger. It
Yeah,
has to be a good
someone's
movie.
gonna get him.
It has to be a good
Someone
movie.
is gonna get him to make something that's
Yo.
whether it's like a superhero
Mel
or
Gibson never came back.
He's still making bread on the low though. He's still making like production and directorial movies.
He's gonna get credits forever.
yeah,
and
but
he's gonna get
super,
royalties.
He's also super old.
It doesn't matter.
He's right. Will Smith is only like 52.
He's not that old.
Like Mel Gibson's like 75.
What
like
are they gonna cast him for? What movie is gonna be someone's dad? Like,
Kevin
It's a good
Spacey?
point. It's a
I
good
mean,
point. It's a good
Kevin
point.
Spacey's canceled.
the only thing that he would.
He deserves to be though.
No,
That's a little. Look, this.
Like
this
I
is
love him as an actor.
Great actor.
Yeah, but
One of
that's
the
a-
greatest
he's a
actors
GOAT
ever.
actor,
One of
but
the
he's
greatest
also-
actors of all time.
he's also a
likes
taker.
To,
But
he
look,
also likes
taker.
to.
But
Yeah,
look,
he likes
look,
to rape
But
boys.
let's be honest. Like he didn't really do any. Like Will Smith didn't do something of that nature. He just walked up, slapped the shit out of the dude, and made a scene.
I
that
know,
was it.
but
It's a little
you did
different.
that after your wife got fucked.
And dog, it was on the Oscars. It wasn't like in the street.
I get it, but he's
was
not.
The whole world saw
He didn't
it.
do something
No, and
racist. And he's
then-
not fucking like
And
jerking off on the camera.
then he won the Oscar.
Right.
It's the most
Right.
embarrassing
The
speech
biggest
ever.
slap in the fucking
Right.
face. That was a bigger slap in the face than the slap in the face.
But what I'm saying
the
is
fact
that he didn't do something racist. He didn't do something like sexual.
that's where Chris
he
Rock
just
fucked up.
smacked the shit out of another dude. It's not even like a racist. Like it wasn't like a white guy hitting a black guy. Black guy hitting a
JP,
white guy.
they could have arrested him,
Right,
dude. He
but-
assaulted
Should've.
somebody.
But he
Should've arrested
didn't. But he didn't do
That's where Chris Rock
something
fucked
that
up.
would cancel him.
Who?
Will Smith.
What do you mean not cancel? How? When, all right, look. I don't mean to sound like a fucking bitch, but when has it been okay to walk up to somebody
smack
and
fire
smack
out
the
of
fuck out-
somebody?
on prime time television?
fire
This
out
is
of
coming
somebody.
from somebody who has slapped the fuck out of somebody. But you can't do that on camera, and especially when you got
no, I get it.
potentially
I
$1
get it.
billion or $500 million to lose.
I get it.
Because he's,
Facts.
like you said, he's
But-
still 50,
but at the end-
and he's one of the biggest people ever for the past
Okay,
30, 40
but now,
years
But
almost.
now think of it like this: what are people mad at?
You disrespected Chris Rock
That's it.
for
That's it. No,
for
no,
you
that's
and
it.
your wife having an
That's
open
it.
arranged marriage that we all found
No,
out
you're
about and
just adding
clowned
fuel
you.
to fire. What
He
are
got
people-
clowned.
What are they mad at? They're mad that he slapped Chris Rock.
I don't.
Right.
But I don't think
Okay.
that. I think it's bigger than that.
It's
are you
because
mad?
of why.
Because
It's why.
okay, so he put himself in that position, and because people are clowning him,
Cuckold.
he was unhinged.
He was a
Dude,
cuckold.
he looked like a herb. He looked like
I
a herb,
know
and he
he
was
did.
mad that people were clowning him because he looked like a herb.
Because you know what? I'm sure, because they're fucking weird. Not only they're weird, but she never been happy. She said it.
No, but you.
She's
I was
never
saying
been
that
happy.
I think what
They
I'm saying
probably
is-
had an open relationship, but nobody heard or cares about him slaying other girls.
But that's not what
Everybody
the original
just
question
knows that
was.
she was getting
because he's been doing that goody
That
two shoes
goody-
act
yeah.
for 35 years. But meanwhile,
Jada's like, I'm not happy.
She was in the guest bedroom getting slanged
Hey.
by her kid's friend.
That's not what. But you had mentioned. You said, I don't know if he's gonna come back, and then you mentioned
I don't
all the
think-
other actors,
I don't
and I
think he's
said,
gonna come back.
this is different though, because he didn't. He's not trying to touch little kids. He's like the scenario is completely different.
I feel like
I think someone's gonna wait a little bit. They're gonna toss some money, and he's gonna come back, and the movie that he's gonna make is gonna be some sort of nostalgic thing, and then everyone's gonna watch it.
I feel like it's similar to sports in the sense that if you didn't do something heinous and enough time passes and you ball out, people, they forget, they stop caring, you know. As soon as the like, and I don't, obviously this is like one of the worst things that ever happened to like Kobe, and I love Kobe, but that the whole Colorado rape thing, as soon as the charges were dropped and he balled out and he balled out of his mind for 3 years, like it's like it didn't exist anymore. It's like it never happened, So I think acting and movies and celebrities, the same thing.
I don't think the bounce back for him is a giant role, because if that's the case, he'll get canceled.
Yeah, but you're talking about rape. This is not. This is just.
It's the slap is not the same as a rape, but the rape
yeah, but we saw this
dropped,
and that's the difference between everything that you're saying, because you don't watch anything. Everything else is either accusations or charges.
I get it.
We saw, and you can see because it's on YouTube, and I think the one that killed it with their opinion on the whole slap thing was Jim Carrey.
I mean, I didn't think it was right, but I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, he didn't.
It's not that. It's not in the grand scheme of things. It's life. You teach your kids or your kid that you use your words.
I got it.
And this is
I'm
a case of a comedian.
Oscars.
I'm playing
and
devil.
It's not just that.
And he's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
That's what he does for his whole life.
Yeah, his whole life is literally criticizing and critiquing.
Devil's advocate. I get it.
I'm
just saying, like.
So you think he has a chance to come back? Sergio think he's a rap.
No, it's not that.
I think he has to have a blockbuster.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think
I think
that extreme.
He would have to. I think
Apple
they'd
still
have to
put out his movie.
him. No, I think you got to put him in like a supporting role, and humble him,
Maybe not even put his
and
name
like
in the
make
movie.
him make him
Like
act
a
his
surprise.
ass off. Like make him act his ass off in that supporting role,
But he can act.
and then people are like, "Damn, he fucking acted his ass off," and then it's different. And then you're just talking about that. Pause.
Summertime playing in my head. That was what he said.
I've always kind of said that, like, I think Will Smith will just be happier and be a lot more balanced as a person if he stops fronting. Like, dude, we know you're from Philly. Like, we know you don't want to be this, like, happy-go-lucky.
I did it without cursing.
This happy-go-lucky, like, everything's a motivational speech.
Yeah,
like,
both your kids are weird
dog.
as fuck, and your girl likes to get fucked.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
Weird as fuck. Both of them.
But let me just say, I don't agree with what he did was right. I don't think what he did was right.
No, nobody does.
But I don't think what he did
It's worth getting canceled.
is going to stop him. Movies are just going to take someone to take the risk on it. It's not like
Tyler Perry.
Jesus Christ.
Have you guys heard? Quick interjection.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. BET.
No, have you guys heard the conspiracy theory?
Oh.
that
Never mind.
It's hilarious, but kind of interesting. Like 2% interesting, even though it's ridiculous. The conspiracy theory that that Will Smith is Tyler Perry because you've never seen them together. So Will Smith is playing Tyler Perry. It's Will Smith with with prosthetics and shit. I read that the other day, and it was so ridiculous that I was intrigued.
They've never seen them together?
Nah, you've never seen them like hugging or dapping up or in an interview.
Why the fuck are you entertaining him?
I don't know. You just made me think.
You're so fucking stupid right now for entertaining him and this stupid Page 6 blog that he's talking about.
World Weekly News and Publix, the black and white.
They've never been seen together?
That was one of
Are
those,
you stupid?
That's one of those YouTube videos that he watches and it just goes from one video to the next.
Yeah, the rabbit hole. When you go down the rabbit hole,
I think
those videos.
Will Smith is way too whitewashed to play Medea. Sorry. But yeah, no.
Yeah, no. That's very Miami.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I think he'll come back.
Hey, again, I don't take any of that shit personal because no offense, I'm not affected. It didn't affect me. That's why I still listen to Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. I don't agree with anything they did.
Sergio's like,
but they still made fire.
Sergio's like,
I'll watch the Negotiator. I'll watch the Negotiator right now if it comes on.
He's like, I still watch House of Cards.
Negotiator's one of my favorite movies.
Negotiator's awesome.
It's fire.
Kevin Spacey's the shit when he's not trying to molest boys.
He's in that?
He is the Negotiator. What movie are you talking about?
He's the other negotiator.
Yeah, I would say the main one
is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's the other one.
No. Samuel Jackson is the one holding everybody hostage. Have you guys seen the movie?
But he's a negotiator.
No, he's the cop that's trying to expose the dirty undercover cop.
But
he says that he wants a special negotiator. He says that he called in Kevin Spacey like, I want him.
He wants the other negotiator from the other side of town. They're both negotiators.
No, he's on the inside and he's trying to expose the thing, and they even go to his house.
But he is a negotiator. Like in the first scene of the movie is Samuel L. Jackson in a negotiation scene.
Correct.
So they're both negotiators.
I get it, but in that movie, Kevin Spacey's the negotiator because he's like, call him, and I love when he's fucking with the white guy. That's the
killing, and the guy's
sweating. The interim. Yeah, that's fine. No, you don't say that. Yeah, that's great. But R.I.P. to Kevin Spacey's career.
Oh, it's been a wrap for like 5 years. Like, what do you do when you get canceled and you can't get any roles?
I mean, and you have all that money, you just do a normal life. Like, he's got money. It's not like he doesn't have money.
Yeah, he'd say he got bread.
Ari got canceled too.
Which Ari?
For a fake character. The guy who played Ari.
He got canceled? Why? When?
Because Ari is so
hardcore and like racist and over the top and a caricature of a Jewish, agent, lawyer, whatever.
And super anti LGBT because he attacks Lloyd all the time, which is some of the funniest parts of that show.
But has he not had roles
ever
since then?
Now he's like starting to get into like
How
Broadway.
do you get canceled for a movie, for a TV role that he took?
I don't know, but regarding canceling roles, I love that they asked Ben Stiller. No, not Ben Stiller. Yeah, Ben Stiller. They asked Ben Stiller about what's this guy's name? Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
In Tropic Thunder with the blackface.
And they're like, "Hey, is it true that you finally admitted that was wrong?" And he's like, "No, I don't apologize for that."
They asked him.
I still don't.
They asked him,
I won't.
It was pretty funny. They asked him, "Do you think you could pull off that role today?" And he laughed for like 2 minutes straight, and he was like, "No chance." He's like, "But I'm glad I did it, though."
Bro, that shit is hilarious.
Oh, it is very funny.
Hilarious.
It's very funny. Anyhow, fellas, it's been a pleasure as always.
It's about that time.
The Doubters.